Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
Thank you all for coming. So, introductions. To my right is Dave Short. To my left, to my immediate left, is Darius Thompson, Vice Chair. To his left is the Select Board Representative, Nico, and the Select Board Chair.
Good afternoon.
And I am Dwayne Staples, Chairperson. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none. Anybody note any errors or omissions in the minutes of April 16th meeting?
No.
Okey doke. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Approve the minutes of the April 16th meeting. Next item on the agenda, and this is just a placeholder really, the coastal resilience meaningful engagement. There have been a few emails back and forth. I haven't checked with Kristen, to see when she would like to meet. So I will have to follow up with her on that. And I still owe you the both of you the training things that we got from that training. So I apologize for not getting those to you. Any updates on the or input on the turnaround at Swasey Parkway?
Just an observation that I know there are some grade stakes that are there to help guide people not to go on the grass in that part, but I noticed when I was doing Kathy and I were doing the painting for the backside of the block building, that it seems like one of the stakes continually gets broken. So just need to remind people as you're making those turns, those guide stakes are there to help remind you to keep on the pavement and not necessarily go onto the grass.
Well, I know we had talked about curbing when we first put that in, and I know I've been down there. It's continuous that people make that big swing, and maybe, we said we'd give that a year, but maybe curbing is a good idea to keep people off of that area.
Yeah.
Or somebody's going to get stuck, and then that will keep people off of the area too.
Yeah.
So, the only thing that I have noticed too, and I'd like to get Steve Cronin involved with this a little bit, is and again, I understand we don't have all of this rain all the time, but the water does puddle on that back side of those parking areas.
It's trapped pretty.
Yeah.
I took last week, I took a pop level down there and took a look, and it looks like you could get away, because you don't want to cut that sidewalk if you can avoid it at all.
Right.
It looks like if you start far enough back, shimming that area, you can get a positive flow to at least get most of that water out of there and into the roadway, into the drain,
Yeah.
all that. So if he might want to take a laser to get a really accurate. The pop level's only so what the heck? The pop level is only so accurate. So when you talk,
Right.
but that's the easiest solution if there is sufficient pitch to get away with that.
Right, and like we said, we were going to give this some time, so, but that's the biggest thing that I have noticed down there is that big puddle.
And one other observation, the porta potty I think is in the wrong spot. It should be somewhere else because it's very close to where the handicap parking is. It's on the right-hand side where it's puddling. Should that porta potty be maybe off to the left?
I thought that was going to be moved because that was underwater. I got a picture and the water was up around it, so I sent out an email on that, saying that you might want to move that up to the asphalt up in front of the green building.
Okay.
If it hasn't been moved,
So if I understand, so it was moved to be closer to the block building or the green building, right?
well, it used to, they used to put it right up at the end of the driveway there.
Okay.
And that was my suggestion, to move it so that it wouldn't be in the water.
So the last time I looked, so the building's here, the porta potty was here, there's 2 spaces, but this is where the water pools. So people would have, if they're trying to use it, they would have to come around, and people tend to come through, right? Take a shortcut, so they walk into that low area of water. Would it make sense to have it further, like where you said on the, where it says no parking? Would it be closer to that, like the edge of the hill on the pavement? So the building's here, the porta potty's here right now, there's 2 handicap spaces. What if it went over here?
Yeah,
Okay.
it could go over there. Again, I thought has it been moved, Mark? Okay. All right. Let me shoot out another.
Okay, all right.
Let me shoot out
I'm just saying,
another-
this is where I saw it sitting there, and I was there,
Yeah.
on Sunday.
No,
so.
it definitely needs to be moved,
Yeah,
because
okay.
the picture that was taken and sent to me, it was, you would have had to have a canoe to get in there to use the porta potty, so.
All right. Cool.
Let me shoot out another email
All
on
right.
that. All righty. Anything else on that turnaround? Because I know Mark has been the one putting up the stakes down there, so, and he asked me, and I said, yep, let's put the stakes up, and hopefully we can keep people from, driving on that outside edge. But I don't think it's working completely. How's that?
Right.
So, all right. Tree, have you had a chance to talk to the tree committee on any recommendations for
No, but
across there? Or do you have any
I've
recommendations?
got a personal choice. It'd be nice to put in a yellowwood.
Oh, we've taken 2 trees out of there, so do you want to just add 1 back there, or 1 back across there, or would you like to do 2?
Yeah, we could do, it's nice to do things that are a little different, so, a yellowwood and a sweet gum maybe.
Okay.
They're both very pretty trees in their own way. They're not oaks or maples.
I have no. Whatever you decide is fine with me. I'm okay. Yeah.
All right. Are they going to be like big 1.5, or are we going to kind of start out with a smaller one and let it get big?
Oh, they're gonna be probably at least 2.5 inch caliber.
Okey doke.
I don't like little trees.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. We can, how do you want to do this? Do you want to get pricing on planting, or do you, well, probably yes, huh?
I think the highway guys do a great job. That crew, Jay and Kirk, yeah. Yep, they do fantastic at it, so,
Do you want me to reach out to them?
sure.
Okay. I know that they'll be doing concerts and stuff down there, the rec department and all, coming into probably June and all. Should we wait till after the end of August, Dave?
I mean, it's either now or, but if you do it now, it's gonna be more of a hassle for watering purposes and stuff like that throughout the summer. If we go fall, it's still gonna need watering, but not to the degree. Yeah, and that's always an issue, getting people to do that.
Darius,
I'd
any
say
thoughts?
if we can conserve the water usage, it'd be better success. I'd say fall.
All right. Let me still reach out so that we can hopefully get that on the docket.
Unless they're gonna be going, on a, I don't know if they've got any plans for doing the other trees this spring.
I know the tree committee recently pivoted to wait till the fall on
Okay.
what their plans were for that same reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw they were gonna do, work on inventorying trees now,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Kristen Murphy's got a. You should probably see that. It's an app that the tree committee has, and then they're hoping to recruit volunteers to come and do it. Dover did it very successfully recently. That's where Kristen got the idea.
Yeah.
And we had a training person came in that runs the app. It's pretty cool.
So it's an app that can help identify trees
You take the inventory of the town trees, like
So-
everyone gets assigned a certain area.
with the geolocation, longitude, latitude, all that. Cool.
There was an inventory of the trees done down there years ago.
Also, speaking of trees down there, when I was walking in tonight, behind the housing authority, there's those birch trees. One of them's getting, I think, dangerously rotted.
Okay, and I know we had talked about keeping an eye on those, so do you want to reach out to Will?
I'll ask Will to take a look at it, get his opinion, but it looks to me like the rot goes right down through the trunk.
Okay.
And it's leaning right over the sidewalk, too. I'll give Will a call.
My opinion is I'd rather be proactive and safe, even if it's,
Question.
even if he thinks it might last another.
I think he's gonna look at it and say, take it.
All
Yeah,
right. That's fine. I'm good with that. I'll walk down and,
It's right
Check
next-
it out.
Right next to the sidewalk, you can see, it almost looks like woodpeckers have gotten to the side of it.
yep,
And there's also, the trunk at one time had forked into two main
leaders,
leaders.
yeah,
And one of them was removed, and you can see now that it's this big around, and there's a hole this big in it.
gotcha.
And it
So-
looks like it goes straight down.
All right,
I'm more the inkling that if you see all those things that you visually, that it should be taken down.
Oh,
Yeah, just, that's a no-brainer. From a safety standpoint, yeah,
yeah,
so.
all right. If you'll reach out to Will, and
yeah.
that'd be great. Update on the graffiti, although you sent us all pictures and video and,
Yes, had a blast. Could not have done it without my wife, Kathy, and we also could not have finished it without a donation from Mark Damsel, so thank you, Mark. We had a blast with that. We were able to use all of his old paint, which matched perfectly. We have a gallon ready to go, and it was fun. We enjoyed it, so.
yes,
blast.
well, thank you to you and Kathy for
Yeah. She's
taking care of that.
She's a good painter. Yeah. Speaking of which, I have a couple things to discuss regarding the helping to deter this from happening again. So, but it leads to a series of questions, and I'll ask the questions. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Who's responsible for the block building? Is it the trustees or is it the town?
Well, that's an well, it's an interesting question because this goes way back to when Doug Dicey was on the trustees. So the trustees, if I'm not mistaken, had that building built. When we redid the roof 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, I think. We were told it was a town building, but the roof was so bad, and to expedite getting that repaired, the Parkway trustees paid for that. So, and again, way back, that was used to house equipment that the Parkway had, and they actually had, they hired a person to mow and all down
Right.
there.
So,
That's going back, I don't know, the 70s or so.
okay.
So I'm not exactly sure. I think that's a blurred line, if you will.
Okay. So I'll ask a couple more questions. There's electricity in that building, correct?
Correct.
All right. Who pays for that electricity? Does it come out of the trustees or is it paid for by the town?
I think it comes out of the trustees.
Okay, so there's electrical that goes to a building that was built by the trustees that we then subsequently paid for the roof that was there. Okay. And that was built for the trustees for equipment and other things. Now, the irrigation system, is that inside of that building?
That's inside the building, yes.
And
The
that's-
clock,
The clock?
Yes.
So the clock, the power, that part is used for the trustees?
correct.
All right, so this is just my logical thinking that the trustees at one point in time paid for that building to be built. We're paying for electricity. We paid for the roof. How can that not be a trustee building that we are responsible for as trustees?
Okay, well, why does it matter? What are you,
I'm going to get to that in a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to get to the question. If it's a building that was built and paid for by the trustees replaced the roof and paid for that. It has electricity coming to that. We pay for that electricity. It has irrigation system. That to me should be, that building, in all intents, practical purpose, 9/10 or 10 or whatever, should be under the purview of the trustees. If that is the case, is there anything in that building that doesn't belong to the trustees? And if so, how did that, what's in there? Why is it there? And who authorized it to be there? If this is a trustee building.
Well, the Park and Rec has always used that building to store things for their events down there.
So,
And they have used it when they've had the Chili Fest. So they have used the building. And I think Team has stored some stuff in there during the summer when they've had their summer concerts down there.
okay, so let me just follow my logic here. Here's a building that the trustees paid for. We paid for the roof, paid for electricity in that part. Parks and Recs is allowed to use that to store things for their events that Parks and Recs does. And now there's a separate organization that is not a town thing, it's just an organization in town, is using that to also store things. Are we allowing other groups that have events in the park to store things there as well? Or is this some special thing for a group that is not a town, not an official town group?
I think you just take it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody else has asked.
Yeah.
And do we have any need to have any, we don't store anything there because we're always contracting things out, so it's just an open, empty building?
Correct.
Which is fine,
Okay. Again, I'm just asking.
yeah.
We haven't stored anything there. I think in the past, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the trustees in the past have stored some paver block in there, and a few, I think maybe some fence posts, but it's never been used like it was used when
Initially.
they hired people to take care of the parkway.
Okay. So it's something that we, again, the trustees have, not us, but the trustees in the past have paid for a building that's built, roof, we pay for electricity, and yet Parks and Recs, or we've allowed Parks and Recs to store things there, and then they are then allowing other groups to store things there as well. I'm just, again,
I'm not really sure where you're headed.
where I'm at is like, why is one organization storing things in that building when other organizations are not storing things there? Why is anybody storing things there anyway if it's a trustee building?
Nobody else has asked.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
I don't personally care if the building's being utilized, because it adds to the vibrancy of the town when there are events down.
Okay.
Wait.
Again, I'm just asking because I don't know what was in I don't know what's in there.
Yeah.
Other than that, if we have electricity that we're paying for, in order to help deter the graffiti that's happening, would you entertain a motion for consideration to put up a security camera that's there?
Who's going to monitor it?
You mean like a ring camera kind of thing?
Yeah. Or something, you know.
Then you get that on your phone, right?
Yeah, you can get that on your phone if there's but basically something that's there just to help deter, to let them know, hey, this is under surveillance, because it does cost time, energy, and effort to repaint that when someone puts graffiti on it. Is there a potential low-cost solution where we could say, hey, this is under surveillance here,
Or
on the outside?
A sign,
There could be a sign, too.
or just a sign.
Well, a sign with no teeth is, well, it happens again. But the point is
I would be concerned for the camera's welfare.
that's true.
But it wouldn't hurt to look into it, sure.
There's no Wi-Fi there, right?
Like a ring,
No,
ring
no.
camera kind of.
Yeah. You need Wi-Fi, but there's no Wi-Fi there, right?
No, there is no Wi-Fi, and that's because we had, when I had looked at replacing the irrigation clock, and the upgrade was going to require Wi-Fi, and there is no Wi-Fi, obviously,
Right.
at the building, so.
And one other thing, too, on the outside, there's an outlet. It's an outlet that's on the outside. There's an exterior outlet that's live. It has a cover on it, but there's no lock on it.
Okay.
The only
I guess I really didn't know
right.
that.
No, again, while I'm there, I'm like looking around the building. What's there? What's in the? So on the outside, there's the electrical outlet. You pick it up and then you plug it in. In theory, someone could plug in. They get free electricity. If the trustees are paying for electricity, well, we should put a lock on it. Or is that used in events for certain things?
I think you just let it go. I mean,
Okay. Again, I'm only asking.
Our electric bill is peanuts,
Okay.
and this would be peanut dust.
All right. Peanut dust eventually makes peanut butter, but I was just bringing it for
Yeah.
attention. That's all.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was an outside receptacle.
Yep. It's covered.
That
It's-
was-
If it looks like it starts to get abused, then maybe do something about it.
That's all. Just bring it to your attention. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Those are my just observations and questions.
I should go inside the building and see if there's a switch to turn that off.
It should be a breaker, I would think.
Yeah, let me look into that.
Okay.
Actually, you guys should have a key to the building. We had that rekeyed because we replaced the door too when we did the roof, so.
And then that brings another question. If it's been rekeyed, how many keys are out there?
Well, myself and Park and Rec were the only two that had the new keys.
Okay.
And Mark had a key because he was still a trustee when we did that.
All right. And if Mark has a key, I'll ask him for a key. And
So I can get some made.
no, if Mark has it, then I can say, Mark, can I have your key?
So
Mark, can I have your key? Okay, thank you.
if he can find it.
All right, if you can find it, Mark.
Because I've had to ask him if he could find it when I couldn't find mine and he couldn't find his either, so,
I bet you can find it.
but anyways, yeah.
All right.
So, Park and Rec had a key because again, when they have events, they normally store trash bags, trash cans. They did store stuff when they had the Chili Fest. So,
All right. So if Parks and Recs gives permission for another organization to have it, they're opening it for them, closing it, that organization or whoever asked for it, they don't have a key themselves, so, all right, okay, cool.
all right. Streetlights.
Somebody I know asked me the question, I didn't know the answer to it, is if the parkway closes at a certain hour, why do the lights stay on the parkway all night?
I think, so let me try and answer this one too, because that goes back to that whole electric eye and all of that stuff that they've been working on to try to fix down there. Electric eyes, timers, some of it's is old, some of it was new, some of it was just put in to try to make things work, so that's the best answer that I have. I would have to find out.
Yep.
So they're staying on all night?
They're staying on past when it closes.
I think they've always stayed on past when they've closed for a little while.
I'm not sure how late they go till. But, now, this person was just concerned about basically the light pollution. So,
Okay.
So would it be better to would it be better to make a motion to look into what is the current status of the electric eyes and what time do they turn on, what time do they turn off? And if that can be improved, so it cuts
Well,
off at,
yeah, let's have somebody just take a look at it. I mean, I can look at it some night. Or
Again,
or you can ask Jeff.
yeah, Jeff has been the one that
would know.
has been my contact
okay.
I know that when we had talked about this, when they were doing the construction, there was some things that needed to be fixed. Jeff said, when they were doing the sewer pipe, Jeff said he wanted to wait. Let me reach out to him again and see what that is. But I know that some of those components are real old, some of them are relatively newer, but they're not the most recent and up to date down there. So they've tried to work with what they've had. So I know that some of the electric eyes don't talk to each other. That was part of the reason why part of the parkway stayed on, part of the parkway didn't come on, or the whole parkway stayed on. So let me reach out to Jeff and see. And I don't know if there must be some type of timer, because I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't know if they're supposed to stay on all night or not.
Yeah.
But sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, sometimes have them. So let me ask about that. All right. Okay. All right. That's all that I have. Is there any other business?
One quick observation. I noticed behind the Academy Daycare Center, in the parkway, between the sidewalk and the roadway, it looks like we got grubs. because it looks like skunks have been in there digging it up.
Okay.
So, and the grass is pretty trashed. So I'm not sure who we would contact to take care of something like that.
In the past, I've contacted BioSpray.
Yeah.
but-
Dennis isn't there anymore, though.
We haven't, well, I mean, there's other companies.
Yeah.
We haven't had a grub infestation up at that, and we've had it way down at the other end, the Newfields end on that field on the left.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to get that area treated so we don't have to carpet bomb the entire parkway.
Did you pull up the turf to see if there were grubs there? Because I know there's been a lot of activity on turf.
It's
This spring.
It's churned up. It's
Oh,
not-
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let me, unless,
What would you like me to do?
do you want to reach out to, you can reach out to BioSpray,
Sure.
Labardi out of Brentwood, local guy, they do a good job.
Okay.
Let's go down and just, it's just right there. There used to be a big old maple tree there, right? If I remember
I
correctly.
don't remember that, but it's between the sidewalk and the roadway,
Yeah,
directly behind the child care center.
yeah, there used to be a big maple there that was taken down years ago.
Yeah.
There's a bench there with a holly beside it on the academy side of
Yes.
the sidewalk. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can get a time to shoot down there too and take a look at that.
Before we contact?
No,
Oh.
just so that we know what, because again, when it was down in the field, we just treated the field. We
Right.
didn't treat anything else.
Okay.
So, and they could be, I mean, I'm not a fan of treating them at this point because they're real big and,
Right.
you know, they're real big. They're not necessarily feeding a lot, but we should see if we can have a preventative put on there. And that is pretty sandy there too, so, in that area.
So do we want to individually take a walk down? Or do we need to have a little quick site walk?
Probably a quick site walk. Let me,
Okay.
let me, I was gonna say, after the meeting, let's look at our calendar, but I don't wanna get into trouble for that.
No. So here's a recommend. If I like to make as a motion to have a meeting, a site walk meeting, we can post it, that whole thing, but to also start to contact to get it, so I can get information about grub treatment preventative, so that within a week from now we can have information, and then we can make a decision.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know it's Memorial Day weekend coming up this Monday, but
Well, I was gonna say, that notice has to be out 24 hours. Although, can we put this under an emergency type of thing, like we did with that tree that the woodpecker,
right, there was
woodpecker got into, that
that created an immediate safety issue. But this is a more I would say as an environmental impact, infestation.
How about Saturday morning? Do you want to go down there Saturday morning?
Yeah, we could do Saturday.
And I'll post it.
Yeah.
I can put that out, I can put that out to Pam tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if she posts
As a
it
site
Friday-
walk.
Friday
Yeah,
morning.
do a sidewalk Saturday morning.
You don't know if she's taking off early or not Friday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
But tomorrow's Thursday.
All right. So, Saturday morning,
What time?
do you want to be?
Well, let me know what happens. I'm going to be in Maine.
Oh, all right.
So the two,
8 a.m.?
8 a.m. works, okay. We drop the dogs off at 9, but the dogs will not be with us in the park. So,
All right. Yeah, I'll put that out to Pam tomorrow, and then we can go down, we can look at the area, because I know where the area is, and let's just look around that, make sure that we've got it big enough.
do you want to, I'll bring a spray can? No?
No, I don't
Okay.
think we need it, I don't think we need to mark it out with paint. I think we can just go down, walk around, and if,
It'll be pretty
if,
obvious.
All right, that's cool.
yeah, if something's churning it up, it's, all right. Okay.
All right.
That it? Anything else?
Nothing for me.
I make a
Yes.
motion, I have nothing else.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn.
Did we have any updates from you?
No.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I adjourn the meeting at 5:37.
It's a marathon meeting. Whew.
When's
Sorry.
the next meeting?
Next
Thank you
meeting
for tuning in
is
to
6.
Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.